Professor Ghosh, what is being suggested by Sunita Narayan is, yes, these are extreme weather conditions. It's unfortunate what's happened, the western disturbance, delayed monsoon coming together, but much of this is man-made. Do you agree with that? Do you believe that what we are seeing in Himachal, in other parts of North India, much as we saw in Kerala, where the western ghats have been completely ravaged and the flood waters were unstoppable in Goa a couple of years ago, is this man-made or is this simply coming to terms with the climate emergency?
I mean, there are two things. The first thing is that increase in extreme precipitation. And we have seen unprecedented global warming that is taking place. With per degree centigrade warming, extreme precipitation increases by 7 to 8%, which is a huge amount. And we have been seeing even the occurrences of extreme events are also increasing because of warming. So that's the first thing. And this global warming is because of anthropogenic activities. The second thing is that the way we are changing our land use, the way we are cutting the trees, or we are increasing the built-up region, or we are actually building the buildings on the slopes, that results into another set of problems that results into increase in flooding. One of the things I'd like to highlight here is that in 2020 we did some analysis for the northwest Himalayan region, and we have found that we have a very limited data set of stream flow, and we have found from 1980 to 2003, in just 23 years, the occurrences of extreme flooding has doubled. So this shows that how much extreme event has increased over this region of northwestern region, and that is not just because of increase in extreme precipitation, but this is the region where the slope of the Himalaya is such that it results into immediate flooding. So whenever there is an increase in extreme precipitation, it results into significant increase in flooding. And this is what we have been seeing over the last 20 years, extreme increase in the extreme flooding over this region. That's one of the...
Yeah, I'm going to put to our viewers on the screen the Parliamentary Standing Committee report, Sunita Narayan, on water resources. 23rd report, which was on glacier management and monitoring. It called for an urgent, coherent and coordinated response to the evolving challenges posed by global warming and climate change, and said that the Himalayan Karakoram region is warming at a faster rate compared to the global mean average. Now, obviously there is therefore a worry that this region is becoming even more prone, this extremely fragile region, to the kind of flooding we are seeing in Himachal this year. What is the solution? When you say that, for example, the Himalayas have been turned into a parking lot of Greater Kailash, what is the solution? Do you see any immediate solution available?
See, Rajdeep, this is always that catch-22 question that, what is the immediate solution? The immediate solution is evacuation. The immediate solution is relief. The immediate solution is rehabilitation. But the fact is, this is going to continue to happen. Each year when you and I meet, predictably, in the Mayhem and during the monsoons, we discuss this. And each year it's going to get worse. We are seeing that. I mean, look what's happening in Assam right now in terms of floods. Look what's happening in every extreme weather event through the monsoon when our cities go underwater. We need to understand that we will need to learn to live with the revenge of nature. With this excess rainfall that we are going to get, what are we basically looking at? India has rain only in a limited number of hours in a year. What we are now going to see is more rainfall in fewer number of hours. So you are going to have to learn to live with rainfall, extreme rain. Now we know the solutions. The solutions are known today, Rajdeep. The tragedy is we are not practicing it. In fact, after this flood, we will go back to business as usual. We will build Kedarnath the exact opposite to what we should have built it, to make sure that we were taking into account the fact that nature requires us to minimize buildings in the Himalayas. We should not be building the kind of road building that we are having today in the Himalayas. We need to make sure our cities in the plains manage our drainage systems better, We plan for rain, we capture the rain. I mean, yesterday's tragedy, Rajdeep, I was on the roads in Delhi, and for me, it brought tears to my eyes to think the amount of rainwater that should have been harvested for a dry, thirsty city like Delhi, which was actually flooding us and creating mayhem. So we know the answers. My tragedy is, and I think our combined common tragedy is, that we tend to move from one disaster to another and it's business as usual. We talk about resilient infrastructure. We have a whole government departments looking at how we need to build resilience in infrastructure. Why don't we practice it?
Are you saying, therefore, before I go to Professor, are you saying have a complete moratorium which is effectively implemented on any further constructions across the Himalayan range? Are we saying for the next 5 years we will not have any construction?
I'm not saying that, because the minute I say that, there will be another mayhem. I am saying do development properly. Okay, you need to think about, I've talked about the dams in the Himalayas. Today you're building dams one after the other. You need to talk about the amount of hydroelectricity that the Himalayas can give without creating the mayhem that we are creating in the Himalayas. We need to build roads in the Himalayas, but we need to think about the best road engineering and minimize the number of roads that we need to build so that we can make sure that we can minimize the damage. So everything has to be thought through 1,000 times. It will increase the cost, and that's the bottom line. It will increase the monitoring. It will increase the vigilance. It will mean that we will have to do development in a way that is best for the Himalayas, for the people of the Himalayas, and of course taking into account the environment.